What's up, guys? Back with a new video today. On the road to UFC gym. Gonna get that. Got a cover for the no gi class, so we're gonna show some double leg no gi, baby. Other than that, just help out Coach Chris, get some of the guys ready for the tournament. Maybe get some trains in ourselves, but mostly there. Go UFC, give back. Gave so much to us, so we'd like to see people below us or who started after us excel as well.
Yeah, so I've been on the podcast binge lately, right? So today I kind of listened to a podcast about, I think that's interesting me a lot now is about coaching styles, coaching methods. And one of the podcasts I listened to, I normally listen to BJJ Mental Models or the BJJ Fanatics, but there's this other one I listened to. It wasn't as interesting, but there was a couple things the guy said on that podcast that it seemed obvious, but it's important to understand, right? So this guy was talking about, I think he was coaching somebody who's a ADCC competitor, right, and helping her through her journey. But one of the things he talked about was that that commitment, that buy-in between the coach and the athlete, right? I mean, if you think about it, right, when you're competing on the mat, your coach can see things that maybe you cannot see, right? But I don't want to say it's blind faith, but you have to trust that what he calls out to you is the best possible move, right? The meta, right, or whatever, the best way to escape a submission, attack, or transition, right? So it's an important bond that you need to form with the person that you're gonna consider your coach, right? So I think for the most part, right, my coach has been Maya, and unfortunately he didn't get to travel with me. So when we competed in Vegas, Aliko was my coach, right? But then I made sure that in I think about the 3 weeks leading up to the competition, I started to try to get a bond with him, understand his methodology. I actually had him coach me through a couple rounds, like simulating comp rounds. So he would call out the calls just to get familiar and comfortable, right? He told me, he talked about what his strategy is in regards to competing, right? Especially in those tournaments. It's glamorous to hit the highlight reel submission, but it's ultimately about scoring points and securing the win, right? So I digested that, I thought about it, and that's what I wanted. I mean, yeah, submissions are great, but I did want to ultimately win, right? If I got a submission, cool, but I did want to win, right? So there was a brief, I don't want to say lapse, but there was one. It's not even a distrust, but in my final match, I secured the points and I knew I was gonna win, and there was 20 seconds left, and everybody started shouting, choke him, but I hesitated, right? I probably waited 12 to 15 seconds too long before I started the choke, right? And I mean, if you saw the video, you can see that right at the end of the match, the guy was raising his hands. If I had started 5 seconds earlier, I would have had 2 submissions, 2 victories. Yeah, I still came out ahead. So the bottom line is that I got what I wanted. But again, it's that mutual trust, right? That feeling that even though you think something, the person you trust as a coach calls it out. There's a reason they're calling it out, right? You gotta trust. You gotta have that, right? So I think it's important for people that compete to have somebody that they fully buy into, that is their coach, that they trust. So when they're in a competition, it's 100%, right? No matter what you call up, I'm going to do it. It's not I know better. It's like I'm going to do that, right? I don't know, Carl, what you think? You got any input on that?
Yeah, you got to be able to listen to the coach. I think on the thing where you waited, that's just your strategic thing. You did that before, so you're just used to that. But I think that you do need to listen to your calls, because like as you said, the coach is probably going to be able to see something that you don't, or they can start to kind of formulate an idea maybe more quickly about what your opponent's strategy is and try to alert you to maybe some of the things that they're trying to take advantage of. Maybe something simple like, okay, this arm position, you know, where his leg position is, how he keeps regarding, you know, simple stuff like that. Because, yeah, come into the game, play your game, but it's not always going to go how you want, right? So sometimes you might have to troubleshoot, or you're not even thinking about the next step, but the coach, they have to calculate all of that things in order to help you get success. They're not on the mat with you, but they're taking into account like the time, the situation, you know, how is it positioned, right? What is like some of the grips or some of those tactics that you might need to do. Say you're leading, pulling guard, locking them in close guard. Awesome. Kill some time, right? Something like that. Coach just gonna alert you to strategies, you know. Well, ultimately, right, the coach is gonna give you those skills, and you get confident enough in class to where the calls get a little bit more condensed and more specific, like time, not so much exact technique, this, that, this, because in his level and at those IBJJF tournaments, it's not a lot of time to start, okay, grab this, do that, and it's super loud. So that's another thing. So being able to have that plan, that trust with your coach, you work with them, they help you to understand what your plan is. So you go in a battle, they say some stuff, you already know what they're talking about. I think that's really important.
Yeah, so it's important to find somebody that you trust, especially if you're a competitor, that's going to be in your corner, that's going to stand by you. We're still learning how to coach. You know, we coach kids a lot, so there's a lot of things they're doing that you try to yell, but they don't know too, right? So it's just part of the journey, right? For us, we enjoy coaching. So in a couple more weeks, it's Triple Crown, so we get our opportunity to test our coaching again, and looking forward to that. All right, that's it for me. Get you guys on the next one. Us.